Welcome in, everyone. We have another update about whether or not the strike on Iran worked or whether it was a failure. As viewers of the channel know, this topic has been all over the place the past 24 hours after a leaked top secret battle assessment document put together by U.S. Central Command. That is the military command for the area of responsibility of the Middle East where the strike happened against Iran. They did a battle assessment. It leaked to multiple news outlets, and it was thus published. And that document claimed that the Fordo enrichment facility had survived a total of 12 GBU-57 bunker busters. President Trump has said repeatedly that report is false. The facility was taken out. It was a successful operation. And now we have more information that would seem to indicate that it was indeed a successful operation and not a failure, as the leaked top secret document has claimed. So we're going to get into what everyone said, the latest updates, whether or not it was successful or not. Again, don't get angry at me. I'm giving you all the information. You guys can decide to look at it and analyze it however you want to. I'm putting it all out there for you. Before we get into that, please make sure to like and subscribe. It's totally free, costs you nothing, helps boost the channel a ton. Get the stories out there. Please comment with your thoughts. I'm responding to a ton of them, as many as I can. I love the debates we're having. Hit the bell. Make sure your notifications are turned on. You'll get all the notifications. You won't miss a video. Now, let's break it down. The document that indicated the strike did not take out Fordo, one of three sites in Iran that President Donald Trump authorized strikes against. It leaked on Tuesday, January 24th. I am making this video on Wednesday, January 25th. This is a rapidly developing situation. There is much more information coming in. By the time you watch this in 2, 3, 4 days, we might even know a lot more. But as of right now, this is the latest update. So the document leaked on Tuesday. Multiple news outlets, Fox News, CNN, I believe the New York Times, a bunch of news outlets published it, talked about it, and the document claimed that the facility was largely intact, had survived being hit by 12 GBU-57s, which of course are 30,000-pound bunker busters. Again, this comes from CENTCOM. It comes from the United States military. It is a Pentagon assessment. Now, it does have low confidence at this time. People will hear that term and say low confidence and means, oh, it's not real. That really means in military terms, it's just in the infancy of the development of the BDA, of the battle damage assessment. So that's where that's at. However, the Trump administration has hit back hard and has routinely, since the start of this bombing raid, maintained that it was destroyed. So I've pulled a couple video clips here so that you can get the Trump administration as well as Raising Cane, General Raising Cane, Dan Kane, what he said the morning after the attack happened, Sunday morning. So we're going to play those videos now, and then we're going to get into the latest update, which is the latest information that seems to back up President Trump and his assertion that the strikes were successful. Let's play the videos of what Trump and Raising Cane have said right now.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years,
this was an unbelievable hit by genius pilots and genius people in the military, and they're not being given credit for it because we have scum that's in this group, and not all of you are. You have some great reporters, but you have scum. CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick. And what they've done is they're trying to make this unbelievable victory into something less. Now, even they admit that it was hit very hard, okay? But it wasn't hit hard. It was hit brutally, and it knocked it out. The original word that I use, I guess it got us in trouble because it's a strong word. It was obliteration.
We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the U.S. strike package on the way in. At approximately 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:10 a.m. Iran time, the lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator weapons on the first of several aim points at Fordo. As the president stated last night, the remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas.
So that right there was President Donald Trump as well as General Kane explaining their view, their stance. Trump has been very consistent that the strikes work. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, has been very consistent that the strikes work. They're all on the same page. They are claiming it has been completely wiped out. Vance has said the same. So we're really now in a battle of narratives, if you will. We have this leaked report from the military. We have the president and other military leaders, and they are going against each other. Again, don't get angry at me. Don't jump in the comments claiming I'm just making stuff up. The White House confirmed the existence of this report. We're now battling out narratives. Well, we have another little point of data to include. This comes from Axios. I'll throw part 1 up on the screen. This information does seem to back up President Donald Trump. It says Israeli intelligence services believe U.S. and Israeli strikes caused very significant damage to Iran's nuclear facilities, with some officials perplexed by a leaked U.S. intelligence report that suggested otherwise. That's the report we're talking about. Again, there's no question the report is real. We know it's real. We're just going through all the information here. Like the U.S., Israel has not produced a final assessment on how far back the bombing campaign has set Iran's nuclear program, 3 officials told Axios. Why it matters. The emerging Israeli assessment presents a far more optimistic view of the operation than a preliminary report from the Defense Intelligence Agency, which assessed the strikes may have set Iran back only a few months. President Trump's claim that Iran's nuclear program had been obliterated came under scrutiny Tuesday after a DIA report was leaked to CNN, the New York Times, Washington Post, and multiple other outlets, like I previously mentioned. The leak infuriated the White House, which rejected the findings as fake news and accused anonymous officials of seeking to undermine Trump. Speaking Wednesday at the NATO summit in Netherlands, Trump said that the U.S. report was a preliminary report that was inconclusive and said Israel's forthcoming report would give more information. So that's part 1 of this Axios report. Okay, so now I'm going to go throw part 2 up on the screen for you here. Behind the scenes, Israeli officials said the Iranian government has been engaged in its own battle damage assessment to determine the state of its nuclear program. An Israeli official with direct knowledge of intelligence on Iran told Axios that intercepted communications suggest Iranian military officials have been giving false situation reports to the country's political leadership, downplaying the extent of damage. The Iranians themselves still don't even have a clear idea what happened to some of their nuclear facilities, a second Israeli official said. Israeli officials said the damage to Iran's nuclear facilities in Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan, the 3 sites targeted by the U.S. strike on Saturday, is very significant. At Natanz, the above-ground enrichment facility was completely destroyed, and signs point to the collapse of its underground infrastructure, an Israeli official said. At Fordo, that's the big one. The U.S. military 30,000-pound bunker busters inflicted major damage on the facility, though Israeli officials says it remains unclear whether the underground area suffered full structural collapse. At Isfahan, Israeli officials said the uranium reprocessing facility, which produces the uranium metal used in bomb making, was destroyed. Isfahan's underground tunnels were also damaged, but the full scope is still being assessed. We doubt that these facilities can be activated anytime in the near future, an Israeli official said. The intrigue, 2 Israeli officials claim the intelligence shows Iran's stockpile of 60% enriched uranium and 20% enriched uranium are now buried beneath rubble at Isfahan and Fordo, and it's unclear whether Iran will be able to recover it in the near future. So that is the report coming from the Israeli side that seems to back up President Donald Trump's assertion that the sites were completely obliterated or at a minimum suffered damage that they would not be able to rebuild back from, and that's where that is. Now, I've spent today talking to people I know in the military about battle damage assessment and things of that nature. I'll let you know what they said. Let's get into that right now. I spoke to several sources of mine, specifically who come from the Air Force, who are familiar with how battle damage assessments are done and conducted, and who have done many themselves over the years during the GWOT. And what I will tell you is all of my sources who didn't say they knew for sure or didn't know for sure said one thing. Battle damage assessments take time. They take patience. And in a situation like this, you almost always need boots on the ground. You need somebody or a team of people to actually go in and observe the damage at the ground level to make a determination. Satellite footage will tell you a lot. Signals intelligence will tell you a lot. but human intelligence will tell you the most. That's where you get eyes on. You can see exactly what's happening. The problem here is you would have to insert a team of people deep into Iran at Fordo clandestinely, and they would have to attempt to do an on-the-ground battle damage assessment according to the people I spoke with. That would be very risky for obvious reasons because Iran is not going to let that happen. Iran is going to be watching that site like a hawk, even though the United States, according to reports, has told the Iranians to go nowhere near that site until something can be figured out. You could insert a Tier 1 element. I will say Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 both train to go to nuclear sites. It is something they do. It is something they are trained to do. It is within their wheelhouse. I'm not saying they are going to do it, but it is possible. And they would have to get eyes on. That takes time. The other option is you could get a third-party inspector, some international atomic energy organization, something like that. They could go in and conduct the on-the-ground BDA. Those are your options. We've got the satellites. We've got the signals intelligence. At some point, you're going to have to get human intelligence on the ground with a direct look at Fordo that can go there. And you can either do that in cooperation with the Iranians, with a third party, or you're going to have to insert a team clandestinely, which would put those operators at great risk. One of my sources told me he finds it doubtful the United States would risk operators' lives for such an operation. And this is someone who is from that world. This is someone who's done this. This is someone who's trained for this. This is a pro. And he was very skeptical the U.S. would insert a team clandestinely just due to the insane risk it would require. It's not impossible, not ruling it out, but that's what it would be. So that's where we're at now. The latest evidence suggests Trump is accurate, that the sites took an absolute ass whooping. But again, we do not know for sure. I beg you all, please be patient. Listen to the information as it comes out. Look at all the facts and then make a determination of what you think is going on. But that's where we're at right now. Comment with your thoughts below. What do you think? Who do you think's telling the truth? Whose side are you on? Please make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, it's totally free. It helps the channel a bunch. And then hit that bell. Make sure all your notifications are turned on so you don't miss a thing. And I'll see you all next time.